Good morning. I hereby call this meeting to order. I'm also pleased to announce that we've got several distinguished guests this morning. Senator Darcy Yeck, a friend of transportation, Representative Nicole Miller, Paul Zachary with the City of Tulsa, thank you for fixing Harvard, and former Commissioner Mike Patterson. So welcome our friends. Thank you. Commission Secretary, please call the roll.
Mr. Boswell?
Here.
Mr. Studeville?
Here.
Miss Billy? Mr. Freimiller?
Here.
Mr. Dyson?
Here.
Mr. Alexander?
Here.
Mr. Scott?
Here.
Mr. Junk?
Here.
Mr. Peterson?
Here. Director Gatz, you are recognized to present.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, with your permission this morning, I would like to call on Sarah Keller of Women in Transportation, and she has a special award presentation to make.
Very good.
Sarah?
Good morning, Chairman,
Good morning.
Commissioners, and Director Gatz. Thank you. So a little bit about WTS. Women's Transportation Seminar, which is WTS, was started in 1977 as a small group of women hosting seminars because they weren't always welcome into professional associations. Well, fast forward to this year, and WTS is celebrating our 10-year anniversary coming up this coming year. So this year, at our gala in September, we actually had a new award, which was a very special one. We presented the WTS Oklahoma Ray LaHood Award for the very first time. And I love what this award symbolizes. Over the last couple years, WTS has really been given some feedback that it's a women's group or a women's society, but we all know that transportation isn't just women, it's not just men, it's all of us. And so intentional inclusivity is really a big focus that we've had over the last couple years. So a background about this award, named for the 16th U.S. Secretary of Transportation, this award honors men who, like Secretary LaHood, have advanced the transportation industry while also advocating for women and opening doors for the next generation of leaders. Secretary LaHood's tenure was marked by vision, collaboration, and an unshakable commitment to building infrastructure and improving safety for all. So it feels only fitting that our inaugural honoree reflects those same qualities in his own remarkable career. Travis T.J. Dill was named Chief Engineer of the Oklahoma Department of Transportation in December 2024, where he now oversees all statewide engineering and operations activities. A proud Oklahoman and a graduate of Oklahoma State University, go Pokes, that's not in my script, I added it in. TJ began as a drafting technician at ODOT before working his way through the ranks. Engineer in training, resident engineer in Enid and Yukon, assistant district engineer in the Oklahoma City Metro, and later leadership roles at the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority, including deputy director. Along the way, he has led teams on projects that shaped the state's transportation landscape, from the I-40 crosstown reconstruction to the emergency rehabilitation of the Belle Isle Bridge. You're dying right now because I'm just talking about you for a long, long time. Well, it's going to continue. TJ's journey is a testament to dedication, perseverance, and vision. From the local roads in our communities to the major arteries that keep Oklahoma moving, his impact is felt every day. And just as Secretary LaHood elevated the national conversation on infrastructure and safety, TJ is elevating transportation here at home, while ensuring that the path forward is more inclusive for women in our industry. TJ's also, I'm almost finished here. TJ's also deeply rooted in Oklahoma. Born and raised in El Reno, you probably know a lot of this about TJ, but he's born and raised in El Reno, where he still lives today with his wife and his 3 children. At the gala, the WTS gala this year, TJ had a really cool speech, an acceptance speech, where he told a story about his daughter, his young daughter, who he takes to job sites pretty frequently. At any time they're driving through a construction zone, she can name every single one of the pieces of equipment. And so that's just more of a testament to TJ's support of girls and women of all ages. It's with great pride, honor, all the things that we recognize the very first recipient of the WTS Oklahoma Ray LaHood Award, TJ Dill.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. And while we're talking about the Women in Transportation's Oklahoma chapter, I would be remiss if I did not recognize the WTS Woman of the Year, Chairwoman Nicole Miller. At this time, Mr. Chairman, I would introduce Larry Patrick. He is the Executive Director of the Oklahoma Asphalt Pavement Association for the presentation of Perpetual Pavement Award winners for this year. So,
Very good.
Larry?
Mr. Chairman,
Morning.
Commissioners, good morning. It's my privilege to be up here today and an honor to actually be able to present this and recognize this national award it's very indicative of the work that ODOT and contractors do in Oklahoma. The Asphalt Pavement Alliance is made up of the National Asphalt Pavement Association, the State Asphalt Pavement Associations, and Asphalt Institute. And we had brought 9 of these awards back to Oklahoma. The first one was actually a perpetual payment by performance, and later on they have added the two new categories, perpetual payment by design and perpetual payment by conversion. We had 9 of these. We're going to add 2 more to Oklahoma. So with that, I would like to say the first award is a perpetual payment design by design. It's District 1. It's for US 69 in McIntosh County, down by Eufaula, Oklahoma. So District 1, Muskogee Residency, and the contractor was Cost Construction. Let's give them a hand. The second award is a perpetual payment by conversion. This would be on I-40 at milepost 112 to 119, District 4, Yukon Residency, Haskell Lemon Group, constructors. Would they come up?
Thank you. Have to offer a quick apology after looking right at Mike Patterson. I didn't mention Bobby Stem. So I could feel the darts coming at me, but we welcome Bobby Stem with the AOGC, so thank you, Bobby. My apologies. All right. Item 160 is approval of the minutes of the Transportation Commission meeting on October 6th, 2025. Do I have a motion for approval of item 160?
Motion, Dyson.
Thank you. And a second?
Second, Ryan Miller.
Any discussion? Hearing none, please cast your vote. Press it twice. 3 times. Motion passes. Thank you very much. Consent docket contains items 161 through 165. If any commissioner would like to pull an individual item out for discussion, you may do so at this time. Otherwise, I'll hear a motion for approval of the consent docket.
Make a motion to consent. Make a motion to
Okay,
accept.
thank you. And do I have a second?
Alexander.
Thank you. Please cast your vote. We're having to press this like 4 times. Yeah, anyway. Item 166 is Bridge Impact Programming Item. Mr. Hernandez, you are recognized to present.
Morning, Mr. Chairman,
Good morning.
Commissioners. Item 166 is a programming item to repair bridge impact damage. This is in District 1, Okmulgee County, in Okmulgee. The department requests approval to program a project to repair vehicle impact damage to the Mission Road Bridge over US 62, about a mile east of the US 75 junction. Estimated cost of this project is $500,000 using state aid funds, and the project will be ready for the February 2026 letting. The party responsible for the damage is known, and approval is recommended.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Penn, do we stand a chance of recouping our money? Stand a chance. Okay. Do we have a real good chance at getting our money back? Okay, all right. Well, we know the perp, so very good. So you've heard the presentation. Do I have a motion for approval of item 166?
Motion, Jug.
Thank you. And a second?
Second, Dyson.
Thank you. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none, please cast your vote. Three times? 4 times. Oops. Motion passes. Thank you very much. Item 167 is modified progressive design build contracts, Roosevelt Bridge. Mr. Hernandez, you're recognized to continue.
Yes, this project is item 167, modified progressive design build contracts. This is in District 2, Marshall and Bryan counties. This is located at US 70 over Lake Texoma. The project intent is to replace existing bridge on offset alignment. The contract services we're requesting today is the accelerated innovation and collaboration phase of the modified progressive design build contracts. The department has selected 3 design build firms or teams to provide AIC, Accelerated Innovation and Collaboration phase contract services for the Roosevelt Bridge Replacement Project. A request for qualifications was released September 9th, 2025 to all prospective design build teams interested in pursuing this contract. 3 design build teams were selected from the field of prospective teams based on qualifications and experience as evaluated by the criteria described in the request for qualifications. The department requests approval of 3 design build teams listed below to enter the AIC phase of the modified progressive design build contracts. Through this 4-month phase, the 3 teams will actively work with the department to develop final scope of design, incorporate innovations, establish construction phasing and scheduling, as well as develop the project guaranteed maximum price. Following the 4-month AIC phase, the department will evaluate the deliverables of each team and select the highest scoring proposal based on the criteria described in the request for qualifications. The highest scoring team will be presented to the commission in the spring of 2026, where approval will be requested to continue their contract services to design and construct the Roosevelt Bridge Replacement Project. And again, this is for the first phase of that. This is the Advanced Accelerated Innovation and Collaboration phase of the contract. The contract value is $2 million per teams for a total of $6 million. The selected teams are Manhattan Road and Bridge Company, Walsh Construction Company, Zachary Construction Corporation, and Taylor Brothers joint venture. This construction phase is included in the 8-year construction work plan, and construction work packages are intended to commence in federal fiscal year 2026. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have, and approval is recommended.
Yeah, Mr. Hernandez met with each of the subcommittees this morning and discussed this project in detail, so I think we feel sufficiently briefed. So you've heard the presentation. Do I have a motion for approval of item 167?
Motion, Studeville.
Thank you. And a second?
Second, Boswell.
Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, please cast your vote. Motion passes. Thank you very much, Mr. Hernandez. Item 168 is engineering contracts. Mr. Hernandez, you're recognized to continue.
Thank you. Item 168, Part A is on-demand biological assessment and studies, monitoring and surveys of threatened and endangered species, bald eagle and migratory birds. The department has selected 5 firms to provide these contract services, and they'll be utilized as needed in support of the department's staff. The department has selected Blackbird Environmental, environmental consultants of habitats and organisms, Environmental Solutions and Innovations, HDR Engineering, and Olson Incorporated for a total contract value of $1,250,000. Part B is on-demand geotechnical investigations. The department has selected 8 firms to provide contract services on an as-needed basis in support of the department staff. The department has selected Red Rock Consulting, Arrowhead Engineering Company, Olson, WSB, Building and Earth Sciences, Terracon Consultants, Standard Testing and Engineering, and Kleinfelder for a total contract value of $2 million. Part C is on-demand general engineering services. The department has selected 6 firms to provide contract services. These firms will be utilized on an as-needed basis in support of the department staff. The department has selected Benham Design, Burgess & Nyepel, Friesen Nichols, Garver, H&DB Corporation, and Poe & Associates for a total contract value of $15 million. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have, and approval is recommended.
You've heard the presentation. Do I have a motion for approval of item 168?
Motion, Dyson.
Thank you. And a second?
Second, Scott.
Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, please cast your vote. Motion passes. Thank you very much. Item 169 is engineering contract supplements. Mr. Hernandez, you're recognized to continue.
Thank you. Item 169, Part A is statewide on-demand engineering services for Americans with Disabilities Act improvements. This is the first supplement. The department has previously selected 6 consulting firms to provide these services. They are Atkins Realis USA, Cowan Group Engineering, Half Associates, Hudson Prince Engineering and Inspection, Kimley Horn and Associates, and Park Hill Smith and Cooper. The total aggregate value for this supplement, this first supplement, is $3 million. Part B is in District 3, project specific. This is in Hughes County. This is State Highway 27. The project intent here is to add shoulders to a 2-lane and reconstruct and rehabilitate the existing facility. This is a multi-phase contract. This is basically to take the plans from 60% development to final PS&E. This is the first supplement. The department has chosen MKEC Engineering Incorporated previously to provide these engineering services. The construction phase of this project is included in the 8-year construction work plan with scheduled let date federal fiscal year 2027, and that supplement value is $627,100.14. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have, and approval of the supplements is recommended.
You've heard the presentation. Do I have a motion for approval of item 169?
Motion approved, Scott.
Thank you. And a second?
Second, Studeville.
Thank you. Any discussion? Please cast your vote. Motion passes. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Hernandez. Item 170 is change orders with cumulative total of $150,000 or less. This is for information only. Mr. Leonard, you're recognized to present.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman.
morning.
Members of the commission. Yes, item 170, parts A through W. These are change orders on projects which have a cumulative total of change orders of $150,000 or less. These are presented for your information only. No action is necessary, but I'd certainly be glad to answer any questions.
Okay. If there are no questions, Mr. Leonard, you're recognized to continue to item 171, change orders with cumulative total greater than $150,000.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, item number 171, parts A through V. These are change orders on projects which have a cumulative total of change orders greater than $150,000. Your approval is recommended, and I'd be glad to answer any questions.
All right. You've heard the presentation. Do I have a motion for approval of item 171?
Motion Dyson.
Thank you. And do I have a second?
Second, Frye Miller.
Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, please cast your vote. Motion passes. Thank you very much, Mr. Leonard. Item 172 is a claim for additional payment. Mr. Davis, you're recognized to present.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Commissioners. This will be a claim for additional payment, and it'll be in two parts. Part A is going to be in District 3, Cleveland County, State Highway 37 and Southwest 119th Street over I-44. This is with C3 Construction Incorporated. The Oklahoma Transportation Commission awarded a bridge rehabilitation contract to C3 Construction on July 9, 2024, in the amount of $1,962,795.10, with a contract time of 200 calendar days. Following the award, the department, recognizing that working on both of these interchanges at I-44 would cause major traffic disruptions, requested that the contractor prosecute work on one bridge at a time to minimize the traffic congestion. Also, milestone incentives were established to maintain timely progress on both bridges. The contractor successfully completed the work, and this change order provides funding for the early completion incentives on State Highway 37 and Southwest 119th Street, totaling $212,000. It also adjusts the unit price for Class C bridge deck repair to account for additional removal effort and adds 2 stop signs at the northbound on and off ramps at State Highway 37. The total amount of this change order is $264,506.14, which exceeds the statutory 10% limit on projects of $1 million or more. The department recognizes the necessity of this claim and recommends commission approval. Part B is in District 8, Tulsa County, State Highway 97, extending into Sand Springs. This is with Sherwood Construction Company. On May 1st, 2023, the Oklahoma Transportation Commission awarded a $26,592,017.22 contract to Sherwood Construction for grading, drainage, and surface work on a section of State Highway 97 in Sand Springs. The contract allowed for 540 calendar days for completion, and work began on September 11, 2023. Unknown at the time, ODOT had not obtained the required Section 408 permit from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to perform work in and around the Arkansas River levee. Once the need for this permit was identified, ODOT and the contractor immediately began coordination efforts to prepare the necessary documents for the permit. Approval was ultimately issued, though the process took over 1 year to complete. This, in addition to the mandated month-long work stoppage due to high water levels, caused considerable delay to the contractor schedule, resulting in the extended overhead costs that were not a part of the original bid. These costs, along with additional work that was required as a part of the 408 permitting process, totals $2,064,762.68 and has caused the amount of new pay items to exceed the statutory limited 10% on projects of $1 million or more. Because of this, commission approval is required. The department, recognizing the entitlement for this claim, recommends approval. And again, we recommend approval on both items. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
You've heard the presentation. Do I have a motion for approval of item 172? Thank you. And a second?
Second, Scott.
Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, please cast your vote. Motion passes. Thank you very much. Item 173 is proposed bid openings. Ms. Bryant, you are recognized to present.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and
Good morning.
Commissioners. Item 173, proposed bid openings, consist of the tentative January 2026 and the tentative February 2026 bid openings. I want to emphasize, we are waiting for a continuing resolution or a full appropriations bill for fiscal year 2026. With that, the department recommends approval.
You've heard the presentation. Do I have a motion for approval of item 173?
Motion, Studeville.
Thank you. And a second?
Second, Boswell.
Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, please cast your vote. Thank you. Motion passes. Thank you, Ms. Bryant. Item 174 is awards. Mr. Goka, you are recognized to present.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman
Good
and
morning.
Commissioners. Item 174 is the awards from the October bid openings. It will be in two parts. Part A is from the October 9th, 2025 regular bid opening. It is recommended that the following items from the October 9th regular bid opening referred to by call order be awarded. 300, 303, 311, 315, 318, 324, 325, 327, 330, 336, 339, 342, 345, 348, 351, 360, 375, 378, 381, 387, and 390. Part B is from the October 16th regular bid opening. It is recommended that the following items from the October 16th, 2025 regular bid opening referred to by call order be awarded. 400, 43, 46, 48, 418, 421, 424, 427, 430, 433, 436, 454, 460, 464, and 466. This concludes the recommendations and approval is requested.
Thank you. You've heard the presentation. Do I have a motion for approval of item 174?
Boswell motion.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Freimiller, second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, please cast your vote. Motion passes. Thank you, Mr. Goka. Item 175 is a director's report. This is for information only. Director Gatz, you are recognized to present.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, start out with a little bit of a discussion around federal funding. And again, with the current condition at the Washington, D.C. level, with the shutdown and the lack of a continuing resolution, want to make sure the commission understands how that affects us. And obviously, we've been here before. We're not unaccustomed to working with continuing resolutions. Shutdowns are more rare. The thing I want to assure you of is the prosecution and progress payments on our construction contracts that have already been led to contract and are being worked on are still being processed at the federal level. So we're not, at this point, being affected on our ability to pay our bills. And we expect that'll hold true. That serves and that holds true for engineering contracts also. As Aletha pointed out this morning, where we are being impacted is projects that rely on federal fiscal year 26 formula-based funding. And certainly that's where the vast majority of the revenues that we have available to us come from. The immediate effect is we have had to move projects off of the November letting that were utilizing that federal fiscal 26 funding. We will, going forward, react to whatever continuing resolution or a full appropriations bill comes out of the current condition. And we've moved November, which will end up in January, February, March. We will do our best to make sure we've got a good job mix in those months. We can't just pile them all necessarily into the January letting. So we will have to have a thoughtful process as we begin to reschedule those. But the team's pretty much aware and handling that accordingly. So we will wait on the Congress to either pass a continuing resolution. I don't have a crystal ball that tells me when that might happen. Again, but it's not something we're unfamiliar with. We will continue to manage our business very carefully. As you know, the department is conservative in our fiscal responsibility, and if we will definitely keep the commission updated as we kind of go forward with the federal funding scenarios, and optimistically we will not go too much further into the future without some certainty. You know, in the legislative off-season, one of the things that the legislature does on a regular basis is interim studies. And one of the things I'd call your attention to this year, and the department has been tracking probably a dozen or more interim studies, some of them more directly something we are paying attention to, and some of them not so much. Call your attention to some of them that were really important to us, and that was enhancing Oklahoma's freight transportation infrastructure to support economic development. Representative Miller was intimately involved in that one. Good outcome, good study, brought some great information forward talking about freight transportation in the state and really covering all modes, whether it's rail, water, surface. So really good interim study. We talked specifically about a project in Valiant and had a good discussion around it. We looked at, you know, barriers to Oklahoma business innovation was one of the ones we were looking at. Workforce, lots of discussion around workforce, and certainly, you know, that's going to be something critical, always is, to Oklahoma's future. And we've got to be paying attention to the areas that we can right now to make sure that we are equipping ourselves, whether through education, whether through certification, trades, college, every tool in the toolbox to make sure that we can support our future economic development, future economic needs. One of the things that I was asked to speak at was an interim study called Market-Based Pay for Agencies. And that was a really good interim study. As you gentlemen are familiar with, the department has been doing market studies and doing our best to implement those since about 2005. I can point to some times in our past where our turnover rate here at the department exceeded about 30%, more like 33 or 34%. When you're operating in an environment like that, you're really losing ground. And the reason is it's much better to invest in the resources that you have. And our number one resource is our people, than to go through a retraining process over and over and over again, because again, you ultimately end up going backwards. So something we've been paying attention to. The department is in process with a market study right now. We try to do that every 2 years. And it's something that the early indications are is we've got some work to do and some challenges ahead of us in our compensation levels. You'll hear more about that going forward, because the thing that I can tell you about is the department's turnover rate right now is somewhere 12–13%. Still not as low as I'd like for it to be, but lower than the state's. And again, I think that's a direct reflection of the way that we've tried to evolve, minimizing the costs of retraining while investing in our people. And again, I think that was a really good interim study and gave the department a chance to talk about how we do things and how we try to manage our business. We have so many professionals here at the department, and I mean professionals from CDL drivers, and you know, we provide a very high level of heavy equipment training that is certified. We have engineers and attorneys and accountants and other certificate holders across the organization, licensed land surveyors. So all of those professional level positions, when we get somebody in the door, we've got to continue to invest in them so we can try to keep them. So big focus for us, and that'll continue to be a big focus. We looked at ODOT construction work zones, and that was a great discussion. Bobby Stem and the AOGC, Senator Frick sponsored that one and we had some really good discussion about technological developments, what's happening out in the work zone. And TJ Dill and Trenton January, the two chief engineers, ODOT and OTA, were part of that presentation. And they presented some data that really put an emphasis on how many crashes that we see in construction work zones and how dangerous they really are. So it's worth really diving deep into some way that we can start to make a difference in the construction work zones. And I'll tell you, the number one factor in work zone crashes is speed, and getting the traveling public to observe the posted speed limits. And you know, secondary to that is distraction. You know, so you get folks that are not paying attention to what's in front of them as they enter a construction work zone, or more often we see a traffic queue develop because of a slowdown in a work zone, and somebody back in the queue runs into the back of the whole mess of them, and then probably another accident occurs after that. So, you know, distraction is a big part of that. So we've got to use every mechanism that we can to try to make sure the public is aware, knows what to expect, and, you know, even when that becomes a deterrent, and that gets into enforcement. You know, we've got to work with our partners with the Highway Patrol and make sure that we're enforcing those speed limits in our construction work zones. So a lot of things going on there, more to come around some of that detail, but it's something we are very focused on, or always have been, but the conditions out there are not improving. And as we start to see more and more traffic out on our, especially our major highways, we're going to continue to see this pattern and trend, and we've got to do everything we can to try to get ahead of it. Got another interim study coming up this week with the Turnpike Authority that the department will certainly be monitoring as we go forward. So good interim study season. We are always appreciative of the legislature really taking on some pretty heady issues and working with us on those, and the support that we get out of our committees and our committees chairs, whether that's Senator Yeck or Chairwoman Miller, Ronnie Johns. They all do a great job for us, and interim studies are a good way to really kind of take a dive into the details of subject matter, and potentially leads to legislation or some adjustments. Certainly something that gets our attention. So thought it was worthwhile to give you a little bit of an update on where we were at with that process. Appreciate your consideration of the Roosevelt Bridge this morning. That's a big step for us in moving ahead with the replacement of the Roosevelt. You know, for the first time, we're using that alternative project delivery method that's modified progressive design build. I think we're going to see some pretty interesting things come out of that, and I appreciate your consideration this morning. The evaluation process that we went through was extremely thorough. The team did a great job of working, number one, in preparing the request for qualifications. I think we had the right level of detail. We put a lot of information out there, tried to openly communicate over a long period of time so everybody understood what our expectations were, and really excited about where we're at right now. This is obviously the first stage. We will get about the business now of working with the contractors, the teams, to get to the point where we can bring you back a recommendation in the spring. So appreciate your consideration of that this morning. I believe we've got a little bit of a video to queue up. We had a Work Zone Safe event in Edmond here, and you know, in November of 2023, we became the first state to require all teen drivers to complete the free online Oklahoma Work Zone and Move Over Safe course before applying for an intermediate driver's license, your learner's permit. And last month, Work Zone Safe unveiled a new section of the curriculum on impaired driving. An event, again, was held in Edmond at Merkley's driving school. Speakers included were Representative Nicole Miller, Oklahoma Highway Patrolman Lieutenant Eric Foster. He's a crash survivor. We've had so many, but you may remember seeing his trooper car, highway patrol car, mangled in a pile on the side of the highway. He was very lucky to survive a crash like that. And again, Jeff Murrow of Victims of Impaired Driving was there, along with some other state officials, safety advocates, and families that have been affected by impaired driving. The stat that it just is disheartening is over 400 Oklahomans die yearly in impaired driving crashes, and that's a tragedy that is 100% preventable by those who choose to get behind the wheel when impaired. So, very worthwhile effort. I'm extremely thankful of the community that came together to take a hard look at this and make this happen. Impairment, whether that is alcohol or drugs, marijuana in particular, we've got to continue to bring a focus to those issues because the effect that they have on your ability to operate a motor vehicle is extreme. And we're seeing a trend there that we're going to try to reverse. Some upcoming projects. We appreciate your consideration and approval this morning of the Tulsa metro area wrong-way improvements. Those are going to be some low-cost countermeasures like signage, striping, and delineators to deter wrong-way incursions. And that is, somebody entering especially our high-speed transportation facilities going the wrong direction. We've tried to put a focus on this. We've done this in the Oklahoma City metropolitan area on I-40 and I-35, and this one is going to encompass Broken Arrow, Sand Springs, and the Tulsa proper, about 90 different locations. And again, we feel like this is a worthwhile investment to try to deter those wrong-way crashes and entrances onto those facilities. Also, you approved this morning a project on State Highway 80 near Hobart in Cherokee County. That'll realign a section of State Highway 80 away from the downtown area. Currently school property on both sides of that location with about 100 dump trucks a day from a local quarry. And that's something that, we've got to pay attention to. I want to thank the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers for allowing the project to be built on their property, and in particular, the Fort Gibson Lake manager, Gary Mordell. And project's going to begin early in 2026 and complete around the end of the year, and that was about a $9 million contract. So again, be a difference maker for safety for that community. Safety message this month is very simple and very straightforward. We want to remind people to designate a sober driver or to call a cab or ride share and plan ahead for a sober ride home during the holidays. We're about to enter some of our highest traffic and highest volume times of year with Thanksgiving and Christmas on the horizon. And from 2019 to 2023, there were 868 drivers involved in fatal crashes over the Thanksgiving holiday. So again, those numbers are extreme, and we want everybody to get home safe, spend time with your families, but really pay attention. And one of the things I want to reinforce again, as I always do, is buckle up during the holiday season all the time. Never skip the click because that's your number one first line of defense. So, Mr. Chairman, with that, I appreciate the Commission's attendance and actions today, and I would stand for any questions you might have of me.
Thank you. I'd make one comment on impairment, and our legislatures will know this better than I do, but I believe a new law went into effect November 1 that affects impaired driving, that ratchets up the sting for a first offense, particularly if there's a crash or injury or a young person in the car or something like that. So I think it's moving in the right direction.
Yes, sir, absolutely, and your observation is correct. It does add a new category of impaired driving, so very good move.
Commissioners have any questions or comments? Nope. Thank you, Director Gatz. With commissioners having no other comments, then I hear a motion for item 176, which is adjournment.
Motion Dyson?
Thank you, and do I have a second?
Second, Scott.
Please cast your vote. Motion passes, we are adjourned.